Hello beautiful people, so today I thought I'd start a bookish vlog, and if you don't know me, I love books and I love to read and talk about books and share with people what I'm reading. I was kind of inspired by my favorite YouTubers. I mostly just watch booktube, but I was inspired by Sarah Caroli in particular, and she does these like little vlogs and they're just book related, and I thought I want to do that, so I'm making a book related bookish vlog. Initially wanted to start it tomorrow and go through with you guys my physical TBR, and then also maybe update my book journal because I started a book journal this year, but I also thought maybe we could go to the library together. I also wanted to share with you guys the books that I read in January. I feel like for the most part I fell into a slump at the end of last year, but then I went on holiday and I started reading again. There's something about a holiday that just makes you want to read. So yeah, I read 2 books on that holiday, and then I decided to pick up Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, and I started reading this series last year and I'm obsessed. It's currently January 31st and I wanted to finish this in the month of January, but I have 300 pages left. So that's very ambitious of me, but we'll see how I go. But I wanted to document it and include it in this vlog as kind of like a reading vlog segment of the vlog. And I also wanted to share my thoughts with you guys on it and share my reaction. So if you guys don't know Magnolia Parks, it is essentially Gossip Girl but in a London setting. And you follow the characters of Magnolia and BJ, as well as some other lovely, not so lovely characters, and you kind of just follow their lives, and it's just drama and rich people problems. If you have heard of Magnolia Park, I feel like it's a common thing for people to say it's a romance, but I wouldn't really say that because the romance in this is very, very unhealthy and not particularly the kind of romance you want in your life. I don't know, maybe you do, but I would say it's more so like, yeah, rich people drama, and really just about like the complexities of human relationships and what it means to love somebody, and the writing is so good. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you love reading, I hope you enjoy it. If you don't love reading, I still hope you enjoy it, and I hope you find a book that you like, even though I mostly read romance. Anyway, I'm gonna read my book and I will update you guys when I see you next. Hey guys, it is currently like 11:45 and I have about 50 pages left of the book. Like I only have that little bit to go, and I'm terrified, genuinely. It's been a crazy roller coaster and there's definitely something happening going on, which I think we will find out in the next Daisy Hates book, and I'm quite scared for what's gonna happen. And it's been a bit emotional. I haven't cried just yet, but I feel like I'm going to cry at the end of this book, and I'm so scared. I don't know if I'll record it because I just want to be immersed in the book, even though I said I wanted to capture my reactions, but I'm scared I'm gonna cry and I don't want to get that on camera, so low-key leaning towards a 5-star rating. Anyway, I'm gonna read. Hey guys, so it is now Sunday, so it's been like 2 days since I've kind of chatted with you guys, and it's now February and we're 2 days into the month. I have an update. I finished Magnolia Park's Into the Dark last night and it was so good. 5 stars. It is a pretty long book, but I was thinking about this book non-stop. I was so invested from the start to the very, very end. Even though it's long, it didn't feel overwhelmingly long, like there was something always happening. I just became so like enraptured by like Magnolia and BJ's thoughts of what was going on in their mind and in their lives. There's so much that happens in this book, and I feel like everything that happened for a reason. Everything had meaning to it, and everything had a purpose, and everything was intentional, and I really, really enjoyed that. And even the things that were a bit like, what's going on there? It was definitely just like things that were setting up for the next book. And I think we'll definitely get it in Daisy and Julian's point of view because it's definitely related to them. So she also does a really good job at setting us up for the next book, which at times it can be like really like in your face and not very subtle, but I think that's like the point. But the writing was beautiful, the way everything turned out for them was like bittersweet and beautiful. Like I said, I wouldn't say it's a romance, but you can definitely feel more romance in this book compared to the last 2 about Magnolia and BJ, in the sense that they are doing the things that are necessary to be where they are now, if that makes sense. And again, it captures so much humanness. It tackles like the idea of like what is the meaning of life, and like what it really means to love someone and to love yourself, and like all of those beautiful and ugly things about relationships. And I feel like you really connect with these people and these characters. Like they're literally not even real. Like they're not even real, but like to me they're real, you know? So dramatic, but like they're real, guys. I feel like I connect to them because, at least for me, I see parts of myself in these characters, and that's why you feel so deeply for them, and you kind of can at least come to an understanding and at least listen to what it is they have to say and listen to what it is that they've gone through to, you know, feel for them and have empathy for them and just understand them as humans and not like fully hate them. They're definitely not likable characters. They're not characters that you just fall in love with and like enjoy every single part of them. Like no, there are times where they piss me off. And it's like the right balance of like soul crushingly beautiful but funny and lighthearted. But in saying that, definitely search up trigger warnings. It does tackle very sensitive topics and might not be right for some people, so definitely do your research before going into it, but also do that with every other book in the series. And you do have 4 other books to get through before you read this one. 5 stars. It's going to make me struggle finding a new book. I'm probably going to fall into a slump. Yay! But so worth it, and I'm so excited for the next one, even though we don't know when that's coming up. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I thought I would talk about the other books that I read in January. Also, I'm going to include this in the books that I read in January because I started it in January and I read most of it in January. Anyway, 2 other books that I read in January were, I read them on my Kindle because again, I read them on my holiday. And the first one that I read, oh my god, low-key, it's kind of embarrassing to share what I read, but I want to. And if you judge my reading taste, go ahead, I guess. So the first book I read in January was Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter's books. They're so good. And I think this one is the second one, like a sequel to Better Than the Movies. I love Better Than the Movies, and I think that's why I love this one too. I can't remember what I rated this. I'll put on the screen what I rated it. But it was really, really, really good. I've seen some people like love it and some people hate it, and I get why some people wouldn't like it. This takes place like 3 years after the first book. This is like a YA romance. Hello, I'm not even showing the book. It's a YA romance, and you follow Wes and Liz, and in the first book, like, they strike up a deal to like help one another, or Wes helps Liz to like get with the guy or like go on a date with the guy that she likes, but they end up like falling for each other. Duh. In this one, they're now in college, so it's like 3 years later, and they drifted apart, and then you see them kind of come back together. And some people say that they don't like it because the characters are so different, but I'm like, that's literally the whole point. The whole point is the fact that they are different people now. Like, 3 years? Hello, you're not gonna be the same person you were 3 years ago. Unless, I don't know, you're magic and you are the same person from 3 years ago. With like this stage of life they're in, like going from high school to college, like, hello, you're gonna be a different person. Considering what they went through, they are definitely not gonna be the same people that we read in the first book. Anyway, I wish it was a bit more serious, I think, but considering it's a YA, it's not really like common for that to happen, you know? But I like the lightheartedness of it, I like the yearning of it. I love yearning. Yeah, so good. I'm happy with where they ended up. I do think it could be a bit more sensitive and a bit more emotional and a bit more deep. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I was like, I don't want to buy another book. Guys, I have problems with buying books, even though I love books. Like, take me to a bookstore and I will pick up like 5 different books and then I will walk out with none. That's me with shopping in general, but like, it really, really, really happens with books. So that's the life of an indecisive girl, I guess. Especially if it's a book that's out of my comfort zone. Would I even pick it up and read it, and would I even enjoy it? And like, what's the point in buying it if I'm not gonna enjoy it? You know what I mean? Anyway, point of this story is that I wanted to get Kindle Unlimited again because there was like a few books in there that I wanted to read. And then they had a deal that was like $2 for 2 months. And I was like, yes, please, hello, I will do that. So I got Kindle Unlimited and I read, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. I read The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. And you guys, talking romances, low-key, are my guilty pleasure, I think. They're just so like unreal. Like, it's not like, this is not real life. And I think like that's part of why I love books, like, to escape from reality and to escape from my own mind and just like enjoy something really stupid and silly and just like escapism, you know? This one, what is this about? See, I couldn't even tell you. I just like read it. I can't remember their names. I literally, for the life of me, could not remember their names and I can't even be bothered. Never mind. We're following Rory and Hazel. Rory is an ice hockey player and Hazel is, she is the physiotherapist for like the team that Rory is on, and she like wants to make her own little studio and everything, blah 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 blah. They fake date, and then like you just see them like obviously like fall in love. The banter was really good, actually. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy their growth, but it's not like the most amazing writing and everything. Like with these kind of books, like everything is like just told to you, like nothing's really like shown. But like sometimes you need that, you know, like sometimes you need an easy brainer book. It was very spicy though. Do whatever you want with that information. So if you do pick it up, be aware of that. I can't remember what I rated that either. I think maybe like 3.5. I'm a sucker for fake dating though. Like I love fake dating, like I love To All the Boys. Oh, I did start Pride and Prejudice at the start of the year, and I like first was reading it on my physical copy that I have, and then I like started listening to it on an audiobook on Spotify. It's free. I think it's free if you have Spotify Premium, so if you're interested in listening to Pride and Prejudice, and they have a bunch of other classics on there as well, I think. At least for Jane Austen, that you can listen to for free with Spotify Premium, so it's really free. Anyway, so I started listening to the audiobook and reading it physically, and I just think I was a little ambitious with that one because I DNF'd it for now. Like a soft DNF. And maybe one day when I'm in the mood, I'll pick it up again. But yeah, I'm kind of like sad about it because I was like, I've heard Pride and Prejudice is like a good classic. So yeah, those are the books I read in January. And I'll see you when I show you my bookshelf tour. Hey guys, so it's a bit later in the day now, and I really hope the lighting is good. If it looks weird, I'm sorry. But we're back in this little corner. As I said, it's later in the day. I kind of just chilled. Ended up cleaning my room because I wanted to clean my bookshelf for you guys because she did not look good beforehand. And then I ended up cleaning majority of my room. But as I said earlier, we have this bookshelf here, and we also have a bookshelf up over there, and I'll show you guys after I show you this bookshelf. And I wanted to just show you what is on each shelf, the books that I have, and then maybe go through my physical TBR with you guys because I have a few books on here that I haven't read yet, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. This bookshelf is from IKEA, and it's the Billy bookshelf. I think that's what it's called. So I will switch the camera around and I'll just show you the bookshelf, and then I'll just talk to you guys. I don't really know how this is gonna work. Let's get started. Okay, so this is my bookshelf. Just give you a little pan of what she looks like. I guess we'll start up here. This is what we have, just like a little decoration moment, I guess. These are some dried flowers from Jags. And this is a pot that I painted one time with my friends a couple of years ago. These are my besties. And this is my jewelry holder. Anyway, moving on down to the next shelf. This is just like a little decorative shelf as well because I can't really fit books on this shelf. I mean, I can, but I choose not to. And besides, I don't really have that many books to put on my bookshelf anyway. This is where I keep all of my perfumes that I wear all the time. Not gonna lie, some of the perfumes at the back are empty, but I thought they look cute, so they belong here. These are my little Sunny Angels. Let's not talk about this guy. He came from the flower series, and tell me why in the flower series they have an acorn, and out of all of the flowers they gave me the ugliest one. Anyway, it's my little elephant hipper. I don't use her as a hipper anymore, so she's kind of just laying here. And this is my little dragon fruit, and over here I have my collection of blobs, and they all glow in the dark, including my Smisky guy over here, and that's literally me on hair wash day. But anyway, that's that shelf. So this is like my go-to shelf, the shelf that I access most of the time. And here I keep my Magnolia Parks books. I don't know how I'm gonna have space for the last one. That's a future me problem. And over here I have my journal, my book journal, and my planner, and then my Kindle, a bookmark, and my pencil case. And that's that one. And then moving down here, we have my first proper like bookshelf, you know what I mean? And most of these are romances, and I think I've read all of them except for one of them, which is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid over here. I tend to arrange my books by author and also by color, just because I think it looks cute that way, you know? And then down here, this is where I keep mostly my classics and more like literary, general fiction, non-fiction books. In saying that, I only have one non-fiction book, and also there's books behind these ones. So we have more books behind there, and this little thing is a book stamp that one of my best friends gave me, and I think it's so cute. I initially was gonna go through like almost every single book on the shelf, but I didn't. But now I'm gonna take you over to this shelf up here. I want to preface that this is the shelf that I originally had for books, but then I got the bookshelf, and that's where most of my books sit now. But up here we have like fantasy ? Who am I kidding? They just didn't look super aesthetic down there. But we have Hunger Games, plus I don't even freaking know, I think I might unhold this one. I really don't remember it. And this was a book that Jax gifted me at a time that he thought that I needed it, I guess. This is a book that I've picked up so many times before. Each time I can't get into it. And then we have 13 Reasons Why, Evelyn Hugo. That was actually the book that got me back into reading. So thank you, Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then we have my Harry Potter books. 2 of them are missing. I don't know what's going on there. I lent them to family and then they just never came back. But yeah. Oh, and I think Jax has my copy of Catching Fire. As you can see, I tend to lend out my books, and it's just a gamble of whether or not I get them back, I guess. Anyway, so that was my little bookshelf tour. Kind of, not really, it was very lame. I thought we'd go through my TBR. There's not a lot of books in here that I haven't read, actually. Let me quickly just grab all of them. Okay, so these are the books that are on my physical TBR. Kind of, not really. Let me explain. It's more so these 3 books that I actually haven't read yet. The other ones are kind of soft DNFs. So the first book is Atonement by Ian McEwan. I think that's how you say it. I know there's a book, there's a movie on Atonement, and I've always wanted to watch it, but I'm that kind of person who's like, I need to read the book first before I watch the movie. So I picked this up at the thrift store. It just intrigues me, but I just haven't picked it up yet because, I don't know, I love literary general fiction, but they just have to be in the right mood for them, and that's not often, you know? But I really want to expand my reading this year in terms of genre, because I typically read like YA romance. That's that one. This one is a classic, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and this one, don't know a thing, could literally not tell you a thing, but I'm excited to read this one day. I think I definitely have to be in the mood for this. I really want to get another classic down this year. I also thrifted this one. The last one on my physical TBR is another book that I thrifted, actually, and it's a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and it's After I Do, and I think it's like about a couple who they're literally about to get a divorce, or like their relationship is like going back, but then they decide to like go no contact for a year. That's what it says in the back. I don't know. That was interesting. Moving on to this pile of books. These are books that I have picked up in the past, but I just like never finished it. We have Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I bought this with what was left on a gift card, and I think I kind of regret it. My bookmark is still in here. The first story I read, and then I started the second one, and I just like wasn't into it. I think the writing kind of got me. Like, it's a bit dry, the writing, and I think it's because it is translated, but I guess it's just not my writing style. And they are very short stories, but they get you thinking. Maybe another day I'll pick it up. I don't know what I'll do with that. But then we also have Little Women. I love the movie, I think it's the 2019 movie with like Emma Watson. Bookmark is still there. Wow, I started reading this, I think, literally back in high school. This is The Testament. I forgot if this takes place before or after The Handmaid's Tale. I read The Handmaid's Tale and I loved it, and I just never finished it. Literally, what is it with me? I get halfway through a book. This happens all the time. I get halfway through a book and then I just put it down. And sometimes I won't pick up a book for 2 weeks and then I pick it up again and I will finish it in 2 days. Don't know what that is. Definitely recommend Handmaid's Tale, but search up trigger warnings for that because that's a tough one. And then the last one is Pride and Prejudice, and I talked about this earlier, and it's such a beautiful copy. Like, I thrifted this one too, and it's got like little sprayed edges, but I will make it a goal of mine to at least pick up some of these books again, and definitely pick up the books that I haven't read yet. But yeah, that is my bookshelf tour and my physical TBR, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys are hoping to read this year, and if you have any reading goals, or if you want to get into reading, or tell me about how you don't like books at all, I guess. I don't know, but I will see you tomorrow, I think, unless I choose to do my book journal tonight. Hey guys, so I think it's been a while since I've talked to you guys and updated you guys in this vlog, and I initially planned on going to the library yesterday, but as it turns out the library was closed, and I also planned on doing my book journal last night and then I just didn't. It's now Tuesday and I'm actually going to the library. I love just like walking around in the library and just looking at all the books and picking out whatever piques my interest, I guess. I want to show you my library bag. When I went to the Lofi concert last year, I got her tote bag and I think it's so cute. And it says the Lofi book club, and I thought that was perfect to use for the library. So I've been using this every single time I go to the library. I guess in the meantime, I might just like ramble to you guys, give you guys a few updates. I haven't picked up a book since I finished Magnolia Parks, and I think it's because I just can't. I can't. And I went to the Up Shop yesterday and I was looking at their book selection. I almost got a book, but I didn't get it because I just didn't. The book was The No Show by Beth O'Leary, I think it is. I got a sample of it on Kindle and I started reading it, and I just never actually bought the book and finished it, but that's fine. So I think that's why I was a bit hesitant in getting it. It was literally only $4. I don't know why I didn't get it. Oh well, but that's that. If that's the rate that I'm going at now, we'll see if I even get any books at the library. And knowing me, there's a high chance that I probably won't. So you'll see. You'll find out if there's a hole or if there's no hole. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later in the day now. I went to the library. It was a bit hard to film because I got really nervous, so I filmed on my phone. So I hope it looked okay. We'll get into a little book haul. And I got everything in my little library bag here. I got 3 books, which it sounds like a lot, but also doesn't sound like a lot. But I just wanted to keep my options open, and if I don't read them all, that's completely fine. If I do read them all, that's so cool. So the first book I got was The No Show by Beth O'Leary. If you guys remember earlier in my update, I mentioned how I found this at the Op Shop, and this is the perfect example of why I love the library, because you can borrow books that you were thinking to buy but were nervous about buying, but you don't have to like feel guilty about buying it and then not liking it because you didn't have to pay anything for this. Anyway, next book I got was Really Good Actually by Monica Hasty. I don't know, I think I've heard some people talk about this. I don't really know much about it. I want to go into it blind, kind of. It's like women's fiction, literary fiction, and I feel like it would just be really good. And somebody said it's really heartwarming and heartbreaking, which I love that combination. So I got American Royals by Catherine McGee. It seems to do with rich people, and I love rich people drama. These were the 3 books that I got at the library, and that is my haul. I think later tonight I'm gonna finally do my book journal. I will talk to you guys in my next and last update. Maybe. We'll see. Hey guys, good morning. So it is now Wednesday morning and I finished my book journal last night, which you guys saw, and I thought I would show you the final spread today, and I will walk through what I have in my book journal so far. I'm gonna change the angle and hopefully it'll be easy to see. Okay guys, I apologize for the angle and the lighting. This is literally the best I can do. So this is my book journal. This is just a dot journal from Officeworks, and I kind of wish I did a bit more research into what book journal I wanted, but I was desperate and I just wanted a book journal straight away. Also, don't mind my nails, please. Anyway, so we open up my book journal and you have the cover page. I don't know. I wanted this to be a bit more fun, but as you will see, my book journal is very boring. Okay, so then we have the main spread. I wanted to do something here, but I just never did. Yeah, maybe one day I will, but for now, she's sitting just like that. Maybe I'll put my favorite books of 2025 here. We will see. But over here we have basically an overview of all the books that I read in 2025. So I have my goal of reading 30 books this year, and I've color coded the star ratings, so different color for each number. And then my goals here, I'm not very strict with my reading and my intentions for reading. I just like to read for fun, but I thought it would also be fun to put in some goals. So I have read one nonfiction, read new genres, and create a reading vlog. So I guess I might be able to tick that one off soon. So that's exciting. And then we flip over to another like yearly overview. So over here we have my yearly statistics, and I have each month down the side here. And I've got the number of books I've read, the average rating, if I read a physical book or an ebook or an audiobook, and if I read the book from the library. So whether I borrowed it from the library physically, or an audiobook from the library, or an ebook from the library. And then over here we have my reading log. So I just write down the title and the author and the rating that I gave the book and the date that I finished the book. So by the end of the year, hopefully I will have read 30 books, because that is my goal for the year, but also it'd be cool to see this filled out. Now we move over to my January spread. Also, don't judge like the stamping. I used like a stamp for this and this and this, and it was like my first time ever using a stamp, and I don't have like clear stamps, so I don't know where it's going. Anyway, so this is my January spread. It's so simple. I just have my daily reading where I track whether or not I read that day, and then my monthly stats. So at the end of the month I can see how many books I read, the average rating I gave, and then my favorite book. And I also wanted to print out like the book and then put it here, but that's a future thing to do, so yeah, sorry you're not really getting everything. Anyway, then we move on to the actual like book reviews, I guess, and I just write down the book I read, who the author is, the rating, and whether or not I read it physically or on Kindle or an audiobook, all that jazz. And then I just write down my thoughts. As you can see, I only read 3 books in January. I think on average I read like 2 to 4 books a month, depending on how I'm feeling and depending on how busy I am. I left this blank because I didn't want to put my February spread on there, but I also think it would be really cool to do like a little scrapbook page of the books that I read in January at a later time. But again, I haven't printed those books out yet, and I don't know how to do that yet, so that's a future me problem. Moving over to my February spread, I tried to go for a Valentine's vibe, but she's super simple, so I think I got better with the stamps though, so it's still really bad, but it's the same as January. So I have my daily reading, monthly stats, and then I'll update that at the end of the month. And then we flip the page, and this is where I will do my book reviews. And I will do that as I'm reading, because I like to do it when I've finished a book. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have in my book journal. Again, it's not fancy, but it's fun to do. Okay, so that was my book journal. I hope you enjoyed watching it and looking at it. It's very boring. It's so simple and basic, and the designs are so ugly, and there's definitely more I can do with a book journal, but I just wanted to keep it simple because I just like to track the books that I read and keep record of everything. I'm not really into doing like all of the challenges. I thought I would do like a challenge of like reading 25 books in 2025 and specifically write down like specific books that I want to read, or like the A to Z challenge where you read like titles starting with each letter of the alphabet. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but if you look at other booktubers, they do like a bunch of different spreads and different challenges and prompts and stuff in their book journals, and I was like, I want to do that, but I'm not really feeling that, and I don't think that's really my kind of style when it comes to reading, because like I said, I just like to read. When I pick up a book, it's whatever I'm feeling at that moment. I'm not really strict with a TBR. I think I would say I'm mostly like a mood reader. Anyway, I think we've come to the end of our video, and let's just say it was my first time ever filming something like this, other than like a vlog. It was really fun, but also I think I learned a lot in terms of like filming and like how people curate these kind of videos and put videos together, but it was fun. I hope you had fun too, and I hope you get inspired to read. Maybe we'll see more videos like these in the future. It was definitely really fun. If you have any other videos that you want to see, let me know. But for now, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Love you. Mwah.